We just got the confirmation of a relatively big PlayStation 4 JRPG, and it's coming to the West relatively soon. That is Sakura Wars. It's kind of a revamp on the franchise, and it looks rather good. Very excited to see that come stateside, and we'll highlight all the details about that. Also, Sony Interactive Entertainment has detailed their PAX East 2020 lineup, and a lot of compelling games will be there. A lot of big titles, so you might see some gameplay rollout of various games, and also Nioh 2, one of the more anticipated games of the early portion of 2020. Honestly, one of the most anticipated games of the year. I don't think it's too much of a stretch to say that, but there will be a last chance trial demo, and it will be available from February 28th until March 1st, and we have new details on that game that we're going to go over at the end of this video. But first up, let's talk all about Sakura Wars, launching April 28th in the West. Sakura Wars, known as New Sakura Wars in Japan, previously known by the tentative title of Project Sakura Wars, talked about it back then, will launch for the PS4 on April 28th in the Americas and Europe. Sega has officially announced it will feature Japanese voiceovers with English, German, French, and Spanish subtitles, so I don't think we're gonna get strict English voiceovers. A lot of these Sega Japanese published games, we don't get English voiceovers. I know we did with Judgment, but all of the Yakuza games, those games were exclusively played with Japanese audio. I think a lot of people that do play games like this, whether it be a Yakuza or Sakura Wars, they're absolutely okay with the Japanese voiceover, so I don't think that's a big deal. But I definitely did appreciate a game like Judgment including the English voiceover. But as far as Sakura Wars goes, the physical launch edition of Sakura Wars will include a copy of the game reversible cover artwork featuring the original Japanese box art and a sticker set of the main characters. The latest video game entry in the 1996 introduced franchise, Sakura Wars first launched for PlayStation 4 in December of 2019. An animated TV series set following the story of the game will begin airing in April as well. So they're seemingly going all in with Sakura Wars, at least over in Japan. If you want some more information about the game, Sega does have an in-depth overview, and I'll read a little bit about it here. One of Sega's greatest IPs in Japan, Sakura Wars debuted on the Sega Saturn in 1996 and grew into a successful franchise encompassing sequels, spin-offs, anime, manga, and even stage shows. Some of the best creative minds in the anime and Japanese RPG industries have now joined their talents with Sega to bring Sakura Wars to a new generation and a new audience in the West. For this reboot, Sega brought back many of the original creators and received major contributions and character designs from a lot of legacy workers. Tight Kubo in there as well, the guy that did the artwork and did Bleach. Bleach had some incredible artwork, so that is definitely a good sign. And there's a lot of other information about the game, but some of the key features include dramatic character interplay, engage with a colorful cast through the dynamic ellipse dialogue system, where what you say and how you say it has a profound impact on relationships off and on the battlefield. The relationships in Sakura Wars is a big element of the game, so bear that in mind. Exciting combat payoffs, your bonds with team members flow into high-energy combat finale of each episode featuring action-packed fights with giant steam-powered mecha, brilliant anime production, gorgeous animated sequence, a lush soundtrack, and character designs by anime and Japanese RPG luminaries will transport you into a vibrant 1940s steampunk Tokyo, and the setting and artwork does look really good. Again, drawing back to Tight Kubo, he did a great job with the art and character designs of the game, and he was involved with the main character design, and then there were a lot of people working on the guest character design, and you do have a star-studded cast in the game as well. It's gonna be a busy period for JRPGs, man. From March to April, you're looking at Final Fantasy VII Remake, Persona 5 Royal, and Sakura Wars. There's probably other games that I'm forgetting about. I know Ys Memories of Celceta is coming out too. If you go back a couple years ago, maybe even last generation, we were not getting this many big JRPGs consistently, and you're talking about a 1 to 2 month span, and we're getting some major JRPGs, and then the rest of the year, you've got games like Tales of Arise, hopefully, what's it called? Ys 9 comes out over here in the States. That looks really good. The Legend of Heroes, obviously. Hopefully we see Trails of Cold Steel 4, Trails of Cold Steel 3, making the transition to Nintendo Switch and PC, so that's really great. But if you're a fan of JRPGs, man, it's a good time to be alive because there are a lot of big JRPGs coming out. Of course, Square Enix is hard at work on a bunch of other projects as well. Maybe we'll get the announcement of a new Final Fantasy game. 7 Remake is obviously a major title, but that'll be one that is in the works for a while with all of the parts. Maybe we'll get a Final Fantasy 16 at some point. Hey, at this point, that is all theory, but what we know is the next few months, it's going to be huge for JRPG fans, and Sakura Wars is just adding to that. I know Sakura Wars doesn't have the name value of a Persona, of a Final Fantasy, even of a Tales, but it is a quality franchise, and just to see it make the transition back over here stateside, it was absent here for quite a while. The series didn't sell all too well when it came to the West for the first time. So hopefully come April 28th, Sakura Wars this time around does fare a little bit more positively from the commercial end of things. I'm sure the game itself will be of quality. Alright, moving on from that, Sony Interactive Entertainment has announced their PAX East 2020 lineup, and it includes some major titles, including Final Fantasy VII Remake, The Last of Us Part 2, Nioh 2, Genshin Impact, and more. PAX East, of course, runs from February 27th to March 1st, and Sony Interactive Entertainment has announced their lineup of playable games at PAX East 2020. Games include Below, Cloudpunk, you've got Doom Eternal, that's exciting, Dreams, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Genshin Impact, Haven, The Last of Us Part 2, MLB The Show 20, Mosaic, Moving Out, Nioh 2, One Punch Man, A Hero Nobody Knows, Persona 5 Royal, Predator Hunting Grounds, Remnant from the Ashes, Spelunky 2, Trials of Mana, Zombie Army 4, and then for the PlayStation VR side of things, you've got Gorn, Marvel's Iron Man VR, Paper Beast, Pixel Rip 1995, The Room VR, and Space Channel 5 VR, Kinda Funky Newsflash. So a lot of big titles will be at PAX. The Last of Us Part 2 will be playable in the form of a 1-hour demo, and if you're going to PAX East and you want to play The Last of Us Part 2, I implore you, I believe you can download an app right now and you can set up an appointment to play the game. I imagine it's going to be packed because everybody's going to want to play The Last of Us Part 2, so if you do want to play it, go and set up an appointment or get there early, whatever the case may be. Do what you gotta do so you can play The Last of Us Part 2. I went to PAX East a few years ago. It's really cold given that it's in Boston, given that it's, you know, in the midst of winter. Just stay safe, stay warm, and you should have a great time there. PAX is a lot of fun, so do enjoy if any of you guys are going there, but a ton of fun in this year's, man. You look at the game lineup, a lot of high-quality titles to play from FF7 Remake. You've got Final Fantasy VII Remake, of course, Last of Us Part 2. You've got MLB The Show for those of you guys that want to check out that. Predator Hunting Grounds looks rather good as well. Doom Eternal, of course, that's a game a lot of people are going to want to play. Even though we're just about coming up on the release of that game, Nioh 2 as well, that's a major title. So good stuff all around there. And lastly, speaking of Nioh 2, Last Chance trial demo is set for February 28th until March 1st. Publisher Tecmo Koei and developer Team Ninja will release a time-limited Last Chance trial demo for Nioh 2 via the PlayStation Store on February 28th at 12 a.m. Pacific Time, and it'll run through March 1st at 11:59 Pacific Time. The demo will feature 3 missions, detailed character customization, the ability to summon yokai to assist in battle, and the new Switchglaive weapon. Saved data from the demo will not carry over to the full game, so that is something to note, but your created character's appearance does carry over, so that is something that you'll be able to take into the full game. The PlayStation blog also has a rundown of a lot of information regarding the new PlayStation 4 exclusive, how Nioh 2 stands apart. Like many players, I love massacre games that test my skills and force me to improve while also building up my character. I've played my fair share of action RPGs set in dark fantasy worlds where the lowest ranking enemy can one-shot careless players. Despite my appreciation of the genre, I missed out on the first Nioh and have anticipated Nioh 2 as a jumping on point for this series. After playing the game for a few hours, I walked away with a clearer picture of what makes Team Ninja's samurai journey unique with the tough yet fair genre. Of course, this has been a genre that's honing in quite a bit, and a lot of people love it. And by the way, this information is coming from Tim Turry, Senior Content Communications Specialist over at Sony Interactive Entertainment of America. Yokai presence, he noted Nioh 2 fuses feudal Japanese history with mythological creatures called yokai. The result is a refreshing, fantastical blend of visceral samurai combat and enchanting magic. Japanese people are familiar with the concept of yokai, says Fumihiko Yasuda, Team Ninja producer. We've grown up hearing stories about them in folklore, and they can appear in many different forms. Not all of them are enemies, some are friendly, or are simply spirits that live in objects. We want to share that Japanese tradition with the world, that's why it's special to me. As far as yokai abilities goes, these spirits are much more than eye-catching set dressing. They're intrinsically woven into combat. Bosses may summon raging boars or fiery wolves to cut you down mid-battle. Unlike the previous game, players can summon their own yokai to perform powerful attacks like a brutish ogre that clobbers foes with a huge club. Don't let these powerful attacks make you overconfident though. You're still susceptible to deadly attacks. The layer of yokai enchanted combat keeps melee feeling fresh. There was also notes on key management, the Dark Realm, weapon variety and stances, and an overall takeaway that notes fans of massacre epics should absolutely dive into Nioh 2. Appreciation for the genre isn't requisite to enjoying Team Ninja's latest, however. Nioh 2 packs in enough customization and depth to the players are bound to find a weapon and combat style that suits their style. Be cautious, master your key, and prepare for opponent challenge with every step. Again, Nioh 2, the full game, is due out on March 12th, but if you're not completely sold on the game or you want to get a taste of it before its release, February 28th until March 1st, you can play the Last Chance trial demo and you can play it for free, so do check that out. And Nioh was available as a Plus title, the first game that is, back in November, I believe, so a lot of you guys might own the game. If you have yet to check it out, definitely jump into that because it was a high quality title. And that's gonna conclude this video. Again, Sakura Wars launches April 28th in the West. That's definitely gonna be a JRPG to check out. You've got Sony's PAX East 2020 lineup, and it is looking loaded with high quality titles. VR lineup looks quite good as well. Marvel's Iron Man VR, definitely a title I'm interested in. And Nioh 2 Last Chance, a trial, a free demo is set for February 28th until March 1st, so you'll have a chance to check that out. That's going to conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.